everyone. Thank you for joining me for this 1 hour power yoga flow. My name is Nicole, and I am going to be guiding you today. So we're going to be moving through a few sequences of different poses and postures. We're going to get some nice stretching and relaxation in as well. So what you'll need for your practice is a yoga mat if you have one. If not, any gentle surface will work. Also, if you have a yoga block, this will come in handy throughout your practice. All it does is just elevate the floor closer to you and make poses a little bit more accessible. If you don't have a yoga block, you can stack a couple of books, maybe a big textbook, anything of that nature. And I always recommend having some water as you move through your flow. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started in a comfortable child's pose towards the back of the mat. Bring the big toes to touch. Spreading the knees to the outer edge of your mat. Gently walk your torso forward, allowing it to rest between the space of your thighs, and dropping the third eye onto the mat. Immediately just tuning into your breath. We want to focus on taking nice big belly breaths. So as we inhale, feel your belly expand, filling up with air. And as you exhale, the belly contracts. The rib cage falls. See if you can start to create a nice fluidity in your breath. Maybe fire up your ujjayi breath, your victorious breath. So again, nice long inhales through the nose, feeling a slight contraction in the back of the throat. And then exhale. Imagine you're fogging up a mirror, but keeping your lips sealed. This sound mimics ocean waves. We'll bring some micro movements into this space by rising onto your fingertips. So tent the palms, lift the creases of the wrists and elbows off of the mat. You should feel the shoulders spread a little bit here. We want to roll the shoulders up, back, and down, pressing the hips onto the heels. Feeling a nice stretch in the armpits and along the vertebrae as we place some space in the spine. Release the palms back onto the earth. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. On your next inhalation, lift the torso, walk the body off over to the right, finding yourself in a left side body stretch. We're working into the left side intercostal muscles. With each inhale, we lengthen, and with each exhale, we contract. You want to focus on rolling that left shoulder blade under, and again, pressing the hips back onto the heels. Maybe walk the fingertips a little bit more towards that right side, just finding a deeper expression of this stretch. We really just want to gently wake up the body. Nice and slow movements, nice deep breaths. Inhale, lift the torso, walk through center, take it on over to the left. Finding that right side body stretch this time. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, contract. Maybe walk the fingertips just a little bit more towards that left side. On your next inhale, return back to center. Exhale, rest the third eye on the mat. Finding our child's pose. Taking a few moments here to set an intention for our practice. This can be a mantra, a dedication, a goal, something that's going to guide you through your practice. Taking some time here to check in on why you showed up on your mat today. Allow this intention to guide you through the rest of your practice. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, seal off your intention. Inhale, rise onto hands and knees, finding a tabletop pose. Let's check our alignment here. You want the shoulders stacked over the wrist, the hips over the knees. We're gonna move through some cat-cows. So start with your big toes tucked. As you inhale, allow the belly to drop, lift the chin away from the chest, tilt the tailbone towards the sky. We're actively drawing the shoulders away from the ears, spreading through the clavicles. As you exhale, untuck your back toes, really press into your mat to puff up the upper back. We draw the navel into the spine, tucking chin to chest. Inhale, tuck the toes, belly falls, lift your gaze. Exhale, round and curl the spine. Just taking a few more at your own pace, gently linking these two movements. We're starting to calm the central nervous system, warming up the spine for our practice. Then allow this to turn into your dancing lion. So shifting those hips forward, taking nice circular motions, maybe rock from side to side, sway the feet from one side to the other, maybe circle out the neck. Dancing lion is a free body movement. There is no right or wrong here. Dancing lion is just a great way to scan the body to notice any sticky spaces, any soreness, and maybe you decide to send a little extra attention to these spaces as you move through your practice. Returning to tabletop when you're ready. Inhale, extend that right arm forward, palm faces up. As you exhale, drag the arm back up and around, creating nice big circular rotations. So we're getting the whole body involved here. We want to shift those hips forward, feel a slight engagement in the core. You can take your gaze to follow your fingertips. We're just getting our synovial fluid going, lubricating the joints for our practice. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Our shoulders are one of the tighter spaces in our body, so we really want to take some time to work into this area to reduce inflammation, to prevent injury. On your next inhale, extend the right arm high to the sky. Draw the shoulder blades to touch behind the back. Exhale, thread your needle, threading the right arm under and through the body, top with the right shoulder on the mat. You can extend that left arm forward like a kickstand for a little bit more stability in this space. Maybe you take a bind, wrapping the right hand behind the back, tucking the fingers into the hip crease. So in our thread the needle pose, we want to feel a nice bit of pressure on the top of the right shoulder. So maybe shift your hips forward just a little bit. The goal here is to get the back of the skull on the mat. So we really want to twist and lift our gaze towards the sky. Feel free to shift in the hips here. There's very little gravity in this space, so we don't have to keep our hips squared off. Taking nice deep breaths in this belly twist. We're starting to massage our internal organs, detoxifying the body. We're helping to aid digestion. Gently work your way out of this pose by planting the left hand into the mat. Push the floor away and counter the twist by reaching that right arm back up. We're going to circle your right arm forward, again keeping the palm facing up. From here, bring your weight into the center line, engage the core. Grow light in that left knee and see if you can float the left leg off of the floor. We want a strong and active lifted leg, so flex the foot, engage your quad muscle, engage the glute. Breathing to find balance here. Press away from the earth so that you don't sink into that left shoulder. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, draw elbow to knee under the body. Reach back and out. We'll do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee, round and curl. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Reaching back and out. Take the right hand to grab the top of the left foot. Draw your heel into the glute to get a nice quad stretch. Moving into our knee down bow pose. As you inhale, kick the top of the left foot into the right hand. You want to focus on bringing that left hip in line with the right. We're opening up the upper back, the pectoral muscles, as well as the right shoulder here. You want to lift your lifted knee as much as possible and engage that glute. See if you can kick a little bit more, opening up the spine. Let it go, tabletop. Go ahead and move through some cat-cows just to recalibrate the spine. Finding stillness in tabletop, we'll move into that other side. Inhale, extend the left arm forward, palm up. Exhale, drag the arm back up and around, creating those nice circular rotations. Again, just bringing some nice movement into the body here, starting to wake ourselves up. Reverse the direction. Inhale, extend the left arm high to the sky, draw the shoulder blades to touch. Exhale, thread your needle, top of the left shoulder on the mat, twisting through the upper middle thoracic spine. Maybe you use that right arm as a kickstand, maybe take a bind. Focus on creating that nice twist in the spine, shifting in those hips, and lifting your gaze towards the ceiling. Gently unwind, planting the right hand on the earth. Push away from the floor, extend the left arm back and up. Circle your arm forward. Engage the core, grow light in the right knee, and float the right leg off of your mat, flexing the lifted leg. Nice big inhale. Again, really engage your core for stability here. We're hugging muscle to bone. We're wrapping our rib cage in. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reaching back and out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale. Reach back and out. Grab the top of your right foot. Draw the heel in towards the glute. Nice quad stretch. On your next inhale, kick the top of the foot into the hand, peeling that left shoulder open. Lifting that right knee to feel a nice engagement in your glute. See if you can lift just a little bit higher. And then let it go, tabletop. Again, some cat-cows just to reset your spine. So from your tabletop pose, spread the fingertips nice and wide. Really grip the earth here, almost like you're palming a basketball. Tuck your back toes, and as you inhale, lift the knees about 1/2 inch off of the earth, keeping the shins parallel with your mat. This is our floating tabletop pose. We're feeling some work through the sides of our abdominal muscles, firing up the core. Maintain steady breath here. Inhale, lift the hips back and up, press into your downward facing dog. Walking the hands slightly forward, the feet slightly back, finding yourself in a nice upside down V shape. There's 2 things we want to be aware of here. We want to spin the triceps to the back of the arms so that the elbow creases face forward. The other thing we want to draw our awareness to is that we're pressing our weight into the back body. From here, pedal out your dog. Bend one knee, then the other. Gently working into the back of the legs. It's totally okay if your heels do not touch your mat. From your downward facing dog, take your gaze to the fingertips and gently tiptoe the feet to meet the hands. Finding yourself in a forward fold, go ahead and grab opposite elbows and hang heavy. Allow the crown of the head to release towards the earth as the tailbone tilts towards the sky. You should feel a nice length in the spine. Maybe rock from side to side. Maybe shake your head yes, shake your head no. Bending into the knees as much as you need here. The more you bend into the knees, the more you decongest your low back. Release the grip, allow the fingertips to graze the earth. On your inhale, lift up halfway, sliding the fingertips up the shin. Look out and lengthen with a flat back. You want to focus on plugging your shoulders in towards the spine. Keep the neck long. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do one more. Inhale, halfway lift, look out and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Round up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down when you reach standing. Inhale the arms overhead. Draw the toes to touch. You should feel a nice rooting energy in the lower body. We lengthen through the sides of our body. Lift the gaze. Moving into a side bend here, grab your left wrist. As you inhale, lengthen through your sides, and exhale, lean the torso over towards the right. We want to create a C curve with the spine. So as we lean over to the right, shift your hips left. Peel the shoulder open, take your gaze under the arm, try to spin your chest towards the sky, engage the abdominal muscles to protect the spine. Rise back to center, switch the grip. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, we lean over to the left, shift our hips right. Nice deep breaths. This pose is a lot trickier than it seems. We're really working into our oblique muscles. Inhale, back to center. Swan dive, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, look out and lengthen halfway, sliding the fingertips up the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands on the mat, step one foot back, then the other. Find yourself in a plank pose. You have the option to drop onto knees. So from plank pose, we're going to lower down halfway into our chaturanga. So take a nice big inhale and see if you can shift your shoulders slightly forward, stacking them right over the wrist. As you exhale, bend the elbows close to the body, lower down halfway, so the tops of the shoulders face forward. From there, lower the belly all the way onto the mat, untuck the back toes, allow the third eye to rest on the mat. Take your arms out like a T. We're gonna move into an intense shoulder stretch here. You're gonna rock on to your right side body. See if you can bend your left foot and place it on the floor. We're reaching that right arm out. You should feel a nice bit of pressure on the top of your right shoulder. If this feels good for you, maybe you can bend into both knees. Maybe reach around with that left hand to interlace your fingers. Moving very gently here. This is an intense shoulder stretch. Let it go. Lowering back onto the belly, we're going to rock onto the left side. So keeping the hands, the arms out like a T, roll over onto your left side body, bending that right leg, placing the right foot on the floor. Maybe bend into both legs. Maybe reach around with your left hand to interlace, with your right hand to interlace with the left fingertips. Let it go, getting into that nice T shape. Third eye rests on the mat. Bring the hands under the shoulders so that the fingertips line up with the tops of the shoulders. You're hugging the elbows close into the body. Tuck your back toes. Either rise through a tabletop or press all the way back into your plank pose. Shift the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog. We sweep the right leg high to the sky. We don't want to open up the hip here, so we want to keep the right hip in line with the left. We're flexing our lifted leg here. You should feel a nice sensation along the back of your left leg. On your inhale, elevate, rising onto your left tippy toes. Take your gaze forward, start to engage your core, and bring knee to nose under the body, round and curl. Inhale, sweep it back and up, three-legged dog. Inhale, elevate the pose. Exhale, draw right knee to right tricep, hover and hold. Sweep it back and up. Last one, elevate the pose. Draw right knee to left tricep, hold. Sweep it back and up, three-legged dog. Opening up the hip now. So we're gonna stack the right hip on top of the left, lifting our right toes towards the sky. Go ahead and bend and straighten your lifted leg. Maybe take some circular rotations. Just exploring that right hip. Inhale, elevate the pose. Look forward, step the right foot between the hands, coming into a lunge pose. You're gonna spin that right foot down, creating a 45-degree angle with your back leg. Root to rise, pulling your torso back, finding yourself in your warrior one pose. We're focusing on tracking your right hip back, pulling the left hip forward. So we wanna keep the hips squared forward, the shoulders stacked over the hips. Nice 90-degree bend with that front knee. Interlace the fingertips at the low back. As you inhale, draw the knuckles down the back of the left leg, peeling the chest open, lift your gaze. Feeling a slight back bend here. Exhale, forward fold, lowering the torso on the inside of your right knee. This is our humble warrior pose. We're lowering the crown of the head towards the earth, drawing the knuckles away from the low back. In this pose, we want to focus on rolling that right hip under, so we don't want to stick the bottom out here. We're working into the inner legs, into the groin muscles, helping to stabilize the pelvic floor. One more inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Drop the hands on the inside of your right foot and walk all the way over to the left, finding yourself into a wide-legged fold. So the feet are parallel, slightly pigeon-toed, and lower the crown of the head towards the earth. You're tilting your tailbone towards the sky, straightening the back of the legs. On your inhale, rise up onto fingertips, look out and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a bind, grab your peace sign fingers and grab your big toes. Inhale, look out and lengthen one more time, straightening the arms. Exhale, forward fold, bending into the elbows, drawing the torso towards the thighs, the crown of the head towards the mat. Let it go, placing the hands under your face. Walk back over towards the right, finding a lunge pose high on the ball of the back toes. Step the right foot back to meet the left, plank pose. You have the option to drop to knees here. We're going to be moving through our first vinyasa. So from your plank pose or your drop knee plank, shift your shoulders forward over the wrists. As you exhale, lower down halfway, bending the elbows close to the body, chaturanga. Inhale, pull your torso through your upward facing dog or cobra pose. Take a nice big inhale here, lift your gaze, drawing the chin away from the chest. Exhale, roll over the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Refilling the body, maybe return to your intention. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Closed hip here, so flexing the lifted leg. Notice the sensation along the IT band of the right leg. You want to imagine you're stomping your footprint on the back wall. We want an active lifted leg, so engage the quad muscle, engage your glutes. See if you can lift a little bit higher while keeping the hips in line. Inhale, elevate the pose, rising onto right toes. Look forward slightly. We draw knee to nose under the body, round and curl. Sweep it back and up. Inhale, elevate. Exhale, left knee, left tricep, hover and hold. Lifting those hips here. Sweep it back and up. Last one, elevate the pose. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. Sweep it back and up, three-legged dog. This time, circling the left hip on top of the right. Bend and straighten the lifted leg. Maybe take some leg circles, some knee circles, whatever feels good. Elevate the pose, rising on to the right toes. Look forward, step the left foot between the hands. Lunge pose. Circle the back foot down, creating a 45-degree angle. Press down to lift up into your warrior one pose. Adjust your stance here so that the hips are squared forward. So we're constantly tugging that right hip forward, shifting the left hip back. Sweep the arms overhead so the biceps frame the ears, keeping that nice bend in your front knee. Draw your hands to the low back, interlace the fingertips. As you inhale, peel your chest open, sliding the knuckles down the right leg. Continue to bend into the front knee. Exhale, humble warrior, lowering the torso on the inside of your left foot. Drawing the crown of the head towards the ground, melting the hips. Let it go, releasing the hands on the inside of the left foot. Circle on your left foot, walk over to the right, coming into your wide-legged forward fold. So from your wide-legged forward fold, release the crown of the head towards the earth. Let the spine hang heavy. Inhale, rise onto fingertips, look out in length, and draw the shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. You're gonna walk your hands inside the legs, walking the fingertips forward, allowing the crown of the head to lower to the ground. So as you're in this space, you'll notice that your weight goes into the toes, lifting out of the heels. The tailbones tilt towards the earth. You're getting a nice stretch along the hamstring muscles. Maybe even bend the arms here, facilitating the stretch just a little bit more. Let it go. Walk back over to the left. Find yourself in your lunge pose. Plank pose. Left foot steps back to meet the right. We move through a vinyasa. Again, optional drop knee variation. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Chaturanga holds. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. Inhale, sweep the right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward, step forward, lunge pose. We're gonna pivot on that back foot, cartwheel all the way open into your warrior two pose. So similar to our warrior one, except we want a 90-degree angle with that back foot. Really grip through the blade edge, engaging both legs here, keeping that nice 90-degree angle. Both our hips and our shoulders are squared to the side. We have nice strong arms, drawing the shoulder blades to touch behind the back. Imagine if you could stick a pencil between your shoulder blades, you would want it to touch in this space. Gaze through the fingertips. On your next inhale, straighten the front leg, sweep the arms overhead, biceps frame the ears. Exhale, warrior two. Two more, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. We're gonna flip that right palm over. Slide your left hand down the back of the left leg, reaching that right arm up and over. We're peeling the chest towards the sky, shifting the hips forward, exalting this space. Our reverse warrior two. Take a moment to look at your front knee. When we exalt this pose, we have a tendency to draw out of the front knee. So maintain that nice 90-degree bend. Breathing into that nice stretch along the right side body. Return back to your warrior two. Moving into your extended side angle, place your forearm on the front thigh, reaching that left arm overhead. Maybe reach your arms towards the wall in front of you. This is a great time to utilize a block if you have one, or again, maybe your textbooks or your books. And to deepen the stretch, we bring our right hand on the inside of the right foot or the block. We don't want to sink here, so we want to keep the hips nice and lifted and focus on pulling your chest back. Imagine you're stuck between two panes of glass. We don't want to be sticking the bottom out or the chest forward. Nice deep breaths here, feeling a nice stretch in the groin muscles. Return back to your warrior two. Keeping your arms where they are, we're going to pivot our body forward, swiveling on that back toe. So we're in an adjusted lunge stance. Keeping the arms out like a T, shift your weight forward, bringing your weight into the right feet. Bend your back knee, lifting your left leg off of the earth. We find airplane pose. Maybe draw the hands to heart center for a little bit more balance. So in this pose, we want to keep the hips squared off. There's a micro bend in that right knee. Our lifted leg is engaged. We're flexing the back feet. And there's a slight up dog in the spine. So we don't want to dip the spine forward. Take a giant step back, lowering the left leg back on the earth. Reach the arms overhead. High crescent lunge. Exhale. Hands to frame the foot, lunge pose. Step the right foot back to meet the left, moving through an optional vinyasa at your own pace. Drop onto the knees here, finding a child's pose, or maybe take some time to grab a sip of water. Return back to your downward facing dog when you are feeling ready. We're going to move through that same flow on the left side. Three-legged dog, we sweep that left leg high to the sky. Nice big inhale here. Look forward. Step the left foot between the hands, coming into our lunge pose. Cartwheel down on that back foot, creating a 90-degree angle. Sweeping the arms up and over, we rise into our warrior two. So we've been here before, 90-degree bend with the front knee, 90-degree angle with the back foot. Squaring the shoulders over the hips. Nice strong arms. Nice deep breath. Send your breath to any sensation that you might be feeling in the body. This pose is really working into your quad muscles. I know it's starting to burn. You're toning and strengthening your legs. Nice deep breaths. Pumping warriors. Inhale, straighten the legs, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, return to your warrior two. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. So we flip that left palm. Slide the right hand down the back of the right leg. As you lift Sweep the left arm up and over, exalting the pose. Spin the chest towards the sky. Again, look at your front knee. Make sure you're tracking it forward, maintaining that nice 90-degree bend. Breathe into the left side body here. Fill up. Exhale, return to your warrior two. Placing the left forearm on the left thigh, we reach that right arm up and over, coming into our extended side angle. Maybe grab a block or your textbooks if you used it on the other side. You might keep the elbow resting on the thigh. Maybe you work the hand down onto the block or the floor. Again, focus on rolling your left hip open and peeling your right hip over. Nice deep breaths. We're lifting out of this space, returning into our warrior two. Keeping the arms out where they are, we're going to pivot on the back foot, moving into our modified lunge pose. Take your gaze about 2 feet in front of your left foot and start to shift your weight forward as you lift the right leg off of the mat. Maybe start very low, and then as you lean your chest forward, you lift the back leg, almost like a pendulum. Bring the hands to heart center for a little bit more stability. Our airplane pose, our warrior three. We're focusing on rotating that left hip down, inner spiral the lifted thigh, flexing the foot for stability. Keep an up dog spine. We don't want to dip the chest down. Moving back into our lunge pose, we take a big step back. Sweep the arms overhead, high crescent lunge. Exhale, lower the hands to frame the foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right plank pose, moving through an optional vinyasa at your own pace. We meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, take your gaze to the top of the mat. We're going to tiptoe the feet to meet the hands. Coming into our forward fold. So from here, we're going to keep the feet hips width distance. So go ahead and place 2 fists between your feet. Lifting the feet up, slide one hand under each foot. The nose should be, not the nose, the toes should be in the wrist crease. Allow the torso to rest on the thighs. The crown of the head releases towards the earth. We're taking a hamstring stretch here, so maybe begin to straighten into the legs, lifting the tailbone. Maybe bend into the arms to help facilitate this stretch, pulling the torso closer to the thighs. So in this space, we want to try to work our weight into the balls of the feet. This should give a nice massage to your palms. Shifting our weight forward into the balls of the feet is going to naturally lift our tailbone towards the sky. A few more deep breaths here. Let it go, release the hands back onto the earth. We're going to round up to standing 1 vertebrae at a time. Inhale the arms overhead. Bring your toes to touch. Chair pose. From here, go ahead and sit your hips back, bending the knees. So there's a few things we want to keep in mind here. We want to keep a slight tuck in the tailbone, so we don't want to stick the booty back. Keeping the tailbone tucked, we want to keep a nice long spine and shift your weight into the heels. You should be able to lift your toes off of the earth. We want to keep that nice up dog in the spine. So see if you can draw your thumbs back just a little bit more. Lift your gaze, engage the core. Maybe sit a little bit lower, feeling those quad muscles fire up. Sitting back just a little bit lower. Lifted chair. We're going to swing our arms back and shift our weight into the balls of the feet, keeping the ankles and the knees touching here. Sit a little bit lower. Let it go. Sweep the arms overhead. Swan dive, forward fold. Go ahead and shake the legs out just a little bit. Reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Bring your hands to heart center. From here, you're going to lift the right leg off of your mat, bending your knee, keeping the foot flexed almost like you're going to step on a stair. We're going to move into our tree pose. So go ahead and grab your right ankle. You can place your right foot at your left ankle or in the inner thigh, inner calf for your tree pose. When you're feeling stable, bring the hands back to heart center. So for tree pose, the only place that we want to avoid is the knee. So you never want to place your foot on the inside of the knee. Anywhere up the leg works. We're just finding a balance in our practice, working both hemispheres of the brain here. It's okay if you wobble. It's okay if you fall out of this pose. Falling is part of the practice. It's just important to get back in and try again. If this feels good for you, maybe extend your arms forward. For an extra challenge, see if you can close your eyes. Wherever you are, you want to focus on a non-moving object in front of you that's going to help you maintain your balance. Return your hands to heart center. Take the foot outside of the inner thigh and release it towards the earth. Back in our standing pose. Inhale, bend that left knee, flexing the foot. Tree pose. So if you can take whichever variation you took on the other side, whether that's placing the foot at the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. Working to find some balance in the body. Bring your hands to heart center. Maybe extend the limbs of your tree overhead. Maybe close the eyes. Release the foot from the leg, extending the knee forward. Drop the foot down. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, drawing the hands through heart center. Inhale, look out and halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands on the earth, step back into your plank pose. Moving through an optional vinyasa at your own pace, meeting in downward facing dog. So from your downward facing dog, we're going to take a few stretches here. So just bring your feet to the outer width of your mat. Shorten your stance a little bit by walking the hands back. Grow light in your right palm and reach around to grab your left ankle, moving into our down dog twist. So as you inhale, see if you can find length in the spine. Release the crown of the head. We don't want any tension in the spine. And as you exhale, twist open towards the left. We're rolling our right rib cage under, peeling the left rib cage open. You're taking your gaze under the armpit here. If you were talking, you would notice that there's a slight lock in your throat. We are engaging our Mula Bandha throat lock, which is massaging our thyroid gland, reversing the effects of aging. And this is boosting your metabolism, helping to manage hormones. See if you can twist just a little bit more. Let it go. Switch, grab the right ankle, grow long in the spine as you inhale. As you exhale, twist open towards the right. This time rolling the left rib cage under, peeling the right rib cage open. Gaze under the armpit. Take your gaze to the top of the ceiling. Let it go. You're going to spin the heels in, toes out. Walk your hands back and sit low, Malasana Yogi Squat. So toes out, heels in, you're sinking your hips towards the earth. Bring the hands to heart center, using your elbows to open up the knees. If you're feeling particularly tight in the hips, you can go ahead and grab a block, even a pillow, anything, and just sit on it. This is gonna make this pose a lot more accessible to you. So taking nice deep breaths in our yogi squat here. Really getting into the groin muscles, the inner legs. Maybe close the eyes here, tuck your chin to your chest. Let it go, release your hands onto the earth. Straighten the legs and go ahead and shake out the back of the legs. Return into your downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog. Sweep the right leg high to the sky. Look forward and draw your right knee to the back of the right wrist. We're going to untuck the back toes, lowering the left leg onto the mat. Moving into pigeon pose. So we want to stay lifted here, walking the fingertips back so that we stack the shoulders over the hips. We want to square off our hips here, so see if you can rotate a little bit onto that left hip. The closer the foot is into the groin, the less intense of a stretch this will be. If you want an intense stretch, go ahead and move your right heel forward, keeping the shin in line with the front of your mat. Once you've squared off those hips, maybe drop onto forearms. Resting the third eye on the mat or on your arms. And taking some quality breath here. We're sitting in a hip opener. Any sort of hip opener or hip stretch can be very confrontational for some. The hips tend to carry a lot of tension and stress and emotion. So we really want to be patient with our bodies in this space, knowing that each and every day is different. So really just tune in to what your body is telling you on this particular day. Slowly work your way out of this pose by rising onto the hands and go ahead and walk back. We're gonna sit onto our right side and swing that left leg up and over. So we bend the left leg over top of the right, placing the left foot on the outside of our right thigh. Inhale the arms overhead. And as you exhale, release your left hand to the base of the spine, straighten into that arm and begin to twist until you can hook your right elbow outside of your left knee. So with every inhale, see if you can find a little bit more length in the spine. And with each exhale, twist a little bit more. Maybe take your gaze over the left shoulder. Release by bowing over to the other side. We want to really reconnect the spine after we did an intense spinal twist. Returning back to center, you're going to rock forward, planting the left foot on the mat. Step the right foot back, lunge pose. Go ahead and step into plank pose and just shift the hips back, downward facing dog. If it is in your practice, feel free to take a final vinyasa, but we are working our way onto the earth, starting to calm down the body here. Inhale, three-legged dog, sweeping that left leg high to the sky. Inhale, elevate the pose, look forward, and place the left knee behind the left wrist. We're walking the right leg back, untucking the toes. Walk the hands back towards the hips. Find your shape here. Square off your hips, placing the left foot near the groin, or maybe walking it forward for a deeper stretch. Once we found that space, we go ahead and walk the torso forward, maybe lowering onto forearms. Again, taking some time in this space. Taking nice deep breaths here. We tend to get pretty fidgety in poses like this that we have to hold for a little bit. Our mind tends to wander, or we like to look around. So see if you can clear your thoughts, clear your mind, maybe come back to your intention, feeling the sensations throughout your body. From your pigeon pose, slowly start to work yourself out of this space by rising onto the palms, walking the hands back. Sit onto your left side, swing the right leg up and over, bending one leg over the other. Stack the spine here, feel the tailbones on the earth, and sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, release the right hand to the base of the spine, straightening that arm, length through the spine. And as you exhale, we hook the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Inhale, find a little bit more length, and exhale, twist, maybe taking the gaze over the right shoulder. This is an intense spinal twist and intense belly twist. So really breathe into this space. Release, return back through center. We bow over to the other side, recalibrating the spine after that intense twist. Rock forward, place the right foot on the mat. Step the left back, lunge pose. Step back, plank. Shift the hips back and up, downward facing dog. We take our gaze to the top of the mat and just tiptoe forward until you find yourself in a seated position. Moving into our Supta Baddha Konasana, we're going to bring the feet to touch and allow the knees to fall towards the earth. So basically coming into our butterfly pose. To intensify the stretch, you want to draw the heels closer to the groin. Remember, we want to glue both tailbone on the earth, keeping nice length in the spine. Sweep the arms overhead. Release the hands through heart center. And then lowering your hands to the feet, maybe the knees, or maybe walk the hands forward. Whatever intensity you are looking for. Slowly walking the hands back. Extend your feet out in front of you, seated staff pose. Flex the feet. Reach your arms forward, palms up. And slowly lower your torso down, one vertebrae at a time. The shoulders touch last, then the head. Our corpse pose, just holding here for one breath. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze, lifting the shoulders and the head off of the earth. Release the crown of the head back onto the earth. Happy baby pose. Grab the outer blade edge of your feet, almost like an upside down squat. The shins are perpendicular to the earth. The ankles are stacked over the knees. Maybe bend into your arms. Draw the knees a little bit closer to the earth. You can rock from side to side. Give yourself a low lumbar massage. Maybe straighten into one leg or the other. Really just feeling out this space. Notice your breath start to slow down. Release the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, extend your left leg forward, flexing the feet. Hug your right knee in, maybe drawing it open into the armpit just a little bit. Moving into our supine belly twist, you're gonna hook the right knee up and over towards the left, bumping that left hip back. Reach out with your right hand. Maybe take the gaze through the fingertips. Your right knee does not need to touch the earth, but you do want to try to keep both shoulders grounded nicely on your mat. Closing the eyes here. Just starting to find some relaxation in the body. Maybe noticing your breath. Your breath is likely a lot slower and calmer than it was during the middle of our class. Return back to center. Hug the knees back in once more. Extend your right leg out, hugging the left knee in towards the chest. Maybe roll it in towards the armpit. Supine twist. Hook the left knee up and over. Bump your hips back. And take your arm and gaze out towards the left side, making sure that both shoulders are on the earth. Return back to center, hug the knees in, and then extend the legs forward, moving into our final Shavasana. So allow the feet to splay open, the palms face up by our sides. Maybe roll the shoulders up and back one more time. We want to relax our face, so draw your tongue away from the roof of the mouth to relax the jaw. This is another area of the body where we carry a lot of tension. In this space, draw your awareness back to the breath. Try to match the length of each inhale to the length of your exhale. Inhale for 3 counts. Hold your breath. And then exhale, let it go for 3 counts. Moving through a gentle meditation. See if you can give yourself these next few moments of class to really disconnect from your day. We have a lot going on in our lives. We have a lot on our minds. See if you can clear your mind of all of these thoughts, bringing your awareness to the present moment, letting go of your to-do list, letting go of your stress and your worry, and bringing your awareness to the inside. Bringing some gentle movement back into the body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Maybe reach your arms overhead. Give yourself a good morning stretch. Waking up for the second time today. Then roll over onto your right side, finding a fetal position.
Using your right bicep as a pillow. Our fetal pose comes very naturally to us. This is a very nurturing space. This is the pose of rebirth. This should serve as a reminder to you that each and every day is different. Slowly find your way into a seated position, crossing the legs. Close your eyes here. See if you can try to maintain a nice flat spine. Bring your hands to heart center. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. I'd like to close practice by thanking each and every one of you for showing up on your mat and for flowing with me. More importantly, thank yourself for making a healthy and positive decision for your day. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and from my heart to yours, namaste.